Welcome back to TI UK. So we're going to proceed with part 2 of the fit an LED indicator into the wing mirror of a transporter. And with that in mind, I picked up a Dremel. Okay, so I put some sticky tape on the front of this, masking tape should I say, and I made a mark with a pencil. So that should give me a reasonably accurate, he says, representation of where I need to cut. Hopefully anyway. So here we go, we have got our representation. So all I have to do is to line the marks up like that. Line the tape up, and that's going to give me my cut line. So hopefully that's going to work. Now I get to find out how good this little Dremel tool is. Another cup of tea. Okay, so after a marathon of sanding and fettling, we've got this to look like that. I'm not 100% happy with this gap here. There's a little bit more daylight than I'd like. In that corner just there, see if we can improve that fit ever so slightly. And then it's just a case of bonding it in. If you look inside, you can see how I've clearanced it. So that's just going to need a bonding agent. So in this case, I'm going to use something a bit like CT1, which is like a heavy duty strong silicone. That is as good as it gets. I'm going to bond that on. Okay, so here's both pieces that are going to be bonded. I'm going to give them a quick going over. So what this is a cleaning solvent, and it will just help to remove any dust, any sanding dust. You can see it's getting a bit of dust off it, and release agent from the plastics, and just help it stick together I guess. So I'll just put a bit on there, and I'm going to put some tape onto the actual 2 units, sort of tape them together. And that gives me access to put at the back a seam of bond, because I'm running quite low on black, but I've got a lot more white. I'm going to put white in there because it's not going to be seen. And then if I do need to, I can dress it with a squeeze of black in the front. So let's just undo this tip, and we've got sticky stuff. This stuff gets absolutely everywhere, and I'm talking everywhere. So a bit of a blob there first. Put some there, and a blob here, a blob here. It's got plenty holding it down. That just needs a bit of time now to go off. I might just sort of try and flatten that little bit. The easiest way to do that, this of course will peel off. Just push it flat because you don't want it all over your fingers. There we go, that's our But be careful, it gets everywhere. Can you see what I've done there? Oh dear. So let's let that dry a spell. Okay, so it's now the next day and the adhesive bond has dried. So if you press these little bits of rubber, they are absolutely solid. They're not squishy at all. And this is the finish that we're left with. So my plan is to just probably add, if we want to be really fussy, I could have just done with, in fact I might just clamp that a little bit and add a little bit more behind there, but just to get that perfect. But I'm going to put a seam of silicone sealant in there just to keep the moisture out. One thing to note really on these is they don't look terribly waterproof, so I think I'm going to remove these two screws, remove this, put some silicone sealant around it and refix it. And here is the other one I've done. Again, a little bit heavy-handed there, but I'm thinking if I put a bit of a black silicone sealant in there, a really tiny little bit of silicone sealant, that'll do the trick. And there you go. So you can see my really sort of lumpy bits of bonding. And just here you can see that perhaps white wasn't the best idea, so that needs a bit more black silicone because the gapping's a little bit gappy there. So I'm going to fettle those. Also, I'm going to extend the wires somewhat. With the new wires, I'm going to put, very rubberized these wires. New wires, I'm going to put lots of heat shrink and stuff while I extend them to waterproof everything. And again, remove this, seal inside and waterproof it. But this is where we're up to so far with the two indicator units bonded in. So here we've got the wiring. The wires are extended and covered with heat shrink, and I masked these up earlier, and I used silicone sealant to fill the gaps. And the next job is to mount them on the van. Okay, so the next stage is to strip the existing mirror down, and we've already removed the top shield at the back, which you can't currently see. I've got to get the glass out. So okay, so with the mirror removed, then you simply remove that screw, and this section then comes off. And if you can see, someone's obviously glued that in the past. So this is me. I've just slotted the new section into position, just replacing the screws. And there's got a little set of fold-in star drive keys. The screw is going in the right place. It's snugged up on that side. It is held in place, and it's just put the mirror back in like that. And then we've got the wire that we need to feed in. But before I do that, I'm going to test this side. Here we go. We're just going to test the wiring by tapping it onto the battery. So I think once that's wired in properly, that will work nicely. Now my next job is to get this wiring into the door, isn't it? So I've removed the 3 screws on the inside here that allows, for whatever reason, on this particular mirror, okay, so that's the wire tucked in through there. It comes out here and it's got it into the door. thing to note about these mirrors though. Just one thing to note about these mirrors. If you look at the posts, there's 3 different lengths. And there's my wire going into there. And you can see that the screws are 3 different lengths. So the top one needs to be the shorter screw. And it's at this point that I managed to lose the sound from this particular section of video. But never mind. This section of video is showing me refixing the wing mirror back in using the 3 bolts. And I've already remounted the lower trim. So I'm just bringing out now the upper trim, which behind my fingers has been cut to clearance the built-in indicator unit there. So that's just a trial fit there, and I'm going to bond it on. Yep. So in a second you'll see me bringing out the bonding glue and bond it on. So again, I'm using white bonding agent like Sikaflex pseudo Carl stuff. White is probably a mistake, so yeah, black or grey next time is a must, but at the time this is what I've got. So pop a few blobs of this on. Squidge the cover back down a bit and tape it home. And here we are with the top covers bounded on and a bit of sealant to dress that up there. The fit on this side I'm much happier with. Here, and that's that bonded on. Right, now to get it wired up. Okay, so I've removed the inside door card as part of this, but I am planning an upgrade to the speakers, and I've already got an upgrade kit to the speakers. So as part of an upgrade kit to the speaker, I imagine you have to take this out. So this is my new speaker kit, and as you can see, it's quite obvious that I've got to drill that out. If you're not updating your speakers, I'd probably say the best option you're going to have is to unbolt it and lean it forward. But for me, let's try this because these are coming off anyway. Okay, so I've now got access into the door and I've fished my cable through. Just got to get the cable up through there and into this area first. I've used a roll of solder and I've poked the roll of solder through and used the drawback cable to pull the original wire through. And I've routed in the live feed in, and I found I'm basically then could take it to there and take the feed off that connection there. And here we go. We've got that wired in, and that one is flashing. So I'm going to finish off the wiring connection and then just work out how the hell I'm going to do the other one. I've got my dashboard to put back together, which is a bit of a mission, but making a bit of progress now, if you know what I mean. I'm very pleased with that. I think that has worked out pretty well. There we go, this is the finished result. I'm pretty happy with that.